So, good evening, everyone. It's been a while since I put out another Uber story, but here we go. Today, Uber story is about creation, um, how human beings is created in the different stories. So I'm riding in my car, pick up, doing Uber, picked up a fare, and we started talking again. And one of the religious person, and we started talking about creation and how about the Adam and Eve story and everything like that, and how man was created in the human race. And I let a person know personally I don't believe in the Adam and Eve story because even in the Bible itself, they spoke that Adam's son, once he left the garden, he went walking around and he ran into some other people and in this other village, and that's where he met his wife. Now, if Adam and Eve were the only people on the planet, supposedly that time, how did he meet his wife? So, and there's at least 20 different versions of the Adam and Eve story. Anyway, this is my philosophy on that. And I'm going to look at it from a different angle. Okay? You have many different story of creation stories. And one thing I think we need to take in mind is that all these different cultures have different stories. And almost every single one of these cultures said that somebody came from the heavens and created them from the sky. So whether you believe in aliens or not, and you might dismiss it and say, oh, whatever aliens know, some myth might be true. And you got to look at it. The story of Jesus is really a myth. Everybody just takes it as true because nobody wants to go against it because society forces you to say, oh, take it as reality. But it's not reality because there's no single one proof that Jesus ever existed. There's no proof that he ever walked on water. There's no proof at all. It's just something that was written down and passed on, stored as passed on, just like the stories of the Indians and of everybody else that written on a wall and passed down that this happened. So if this could happen, this Jesus story could happen, why can't the stories of the Indians happen? You understand what I'm saying? This is my thing. All these stories tell different creation. In Hawaii, Hawaiians, their original creation story is that they were created by God from the Pleiades star system, and that they were the first people here on Earth, that they were created. They said, wait a minute, how can the Hawaiians be the first people on Earth? What about Africa? Didn't they say that Africa was where the first humans was created? Right over in the cradle of civilization, which is supposed to be Iraq, right? So evidently somebody's wrong. So this is my thing. Suppose there was more than one creation story. You talk about I think it's the 9 tribes of Judah of Israel, whichever one you want to call it. These tribes. Well, suppose it was 9 separate creation stories. Because even in the Bible, in certain places, when they said that God was talking to another God, but people say, "Oh no, he was talking to it's the Father, the Spirit, and the Holy Ghost, and they're the same people, and they're talking." But that's a interpretation of that. Suppose there's different gods, different people, and maybe that's why there's different types of the people. Because the Chinese said that they were created from a being from the skies. The Indians, the Open Indians, said that they were created from beings from the Orion star system. Then you have the Samaritans, whose creation story says that they came from the Orion star system also, but from the Anunnakis. Then you had the Hawaiians. Then you have the Indians who said that their people came from the sky and was created. Okay. And everybody said they were the first people, and their civilization gave birth to the whole nation, to the whole world. One thing we have to remember back in those days, hundreds of thousands of years ago, people still thought the earth was flat. And everybody thought that their little area of the earth was it. They thought that that was the world. So let me hit you with this. Suppose, let's take the Hawaiians who said that they were the first people and from their civilization gave birth to every other nation. Now, if you're from Hawaii 100,000 years ago, or however long it was, you don't know that way beyond the seas, there's a country that's going to someday be America or India or China or whatever. You don't know. You think that that is the world right there. Okay? You think that that is the world right there. So therefore, if you were indeed created, you're going to think, okay, this is the world. We got created and we made the world. Then you go to parts of Africa. You don't know that there's more out there. So you believe that we're created, this is the world, this is our world. You understand? Then you go to India, who speak of the Maharaja and the different people who come down, the sky gods who came down and created them and said they created the world. That to India, that's their world. So nobody knew any of these countries existed. Okay? So maybe that's the reason why you have all these different creation stories, because everybody was created differently by some sort of alien, some alien form, something like that. Because and maybe that's why you have different races. You have Chinese, you have Japanese, you have Asian, blacks, everything like that. So what about maybe we're part of this 9 tribe thing that he talk about. I think it's 7 tribe or 9 tribe or something like that. And if you look at it, maybe all blacks fall under one tribe. Then all Spanish, who's Aztec, like Mexicans, and Ecuadorians and people from Venezuela and places like that, maybe all of those Aztecs fall under one tribe also. Then you have the Asians, Chinese, Japanese, Koreans. They're one tribe. Okay. Then you have the Europeans. They're another tribe by themselves. Then you have all right. So, then you have the Jews. They're a tribe, the tribe of Israel. So, so that's what, so maybe each tribe had his own God and his own creator. So therefore now, remember I told you in the beginning, maybe that there's like at least 20 different stories of the Garden of Eden, of Adam and Eve. Maybe there wasn't just one Garden of Eden. Maybe there wasn't just one Adam and Eve, and that could explain why when Adam and Eve's son left the garden and came up on this other village and met his wife. Maybe that's why, because he went and met up on another tribe. So maybe everybody was created by a different creator God. Maybe all these creator gods came from the same place. Maybe all these aliens were doing the same thing, but they each created each of their own. I mean, if you look at it, okay, take the story of Moses, when he says his people was in bondage and they were held by the Egyptians, who are not their people. Okay? And God said, let my people go. So that means that the Egyptians wasn't God's people. This God, whoever God that was saying, wasn't his people. Because to show that it wasn't his people, he put plague on them. He killed their firstborn. He did all that. He drowned them. and saying that the Israelites were his people, and said, and even in one part of the story, they said, my God is stronger than your God. And then Moses' staff turned into a snake to eat the other God's snake. So that means that is so stories. It seemed like there were more than one gods going on. And maybe that's why we have so many different people, because we each was created by a different per se God, by a different entity. Call it alien, call it entity, call it spirit, call it whatever. But maybe that's why you have different nations, different people, black, whites, everything, and this and that, and it all is tied back to one. The tribes, the lost tribes of Israel, 9 tribes, whatever you want to call them. Maybe each nation itself is a tribe. All Asians fall as one tribe. All blacks are in one tribe. All Polynesians, one tribe. All Spanish, Aztec, one tribe. Okay, then so you have so that would make up basically the 9 tribes if you count up each 9 different races. Jews are one tribe. All Asians have to be related. You know that, because they have the same familiar features, same thing. And all blacks is probably already, because we have the same features, same everything. And all and Mexicans and Venezuelans and Guatemalans and everything, almost the same features. We got to look at it. Think about it. Maybe that's why. Maybe it wasn't a single creation, like everybody said, just Adam and Eve. Maybe there were more than one Garden of Eden, more than one Adam and Eve per se, from a different creator God, each creating its own type of people. Polynesian, Chinese, Japanese, so forth and so on, whatever. Think about it. That's my philosophy. Hit you up again. Remember, leave a comment and and subscribe to my page.